It's 94 KX with Drew and Allie in the morning, 7:47 here on Drew and the Crew, and this will work. It is National Money Smart Week, and we've teamed up with the guys from Blue Skies Wealth Advisors in Selinsgrove, and you can listen all this week for money smart tips from Blue Skies Wealth Advisors. I have them here with me this morning, and I had your names, and now I don't have them. This is how professional I am. Sorry about that. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Ben Wilhelm from Blue Skies Wealth Advisors.
Thank you, Ben.
And I'm Josh Knauss, another partner at Blue Skies Wealth Advisors.
Thank you, Josh. I apologize. So let's just keep it very real for people who are listening in their car right now on their way to work. They're frustrated. They work hard, and maybe they make an okay salary, but they feel like they're not making the most of it. So what can we say to those guys? We're going to kind of focus, I guess, on four topics this morning: saving, spending, planning, and investing. So who wants to start? Maybe with saving and what that can mean.
Yeah, I'll start off with that. We want to talk a little bit about saving and the power of compound interest over time. A lot of us want to see our money grow quickly, immediately. But if you take time into the situation, Albert Einstein said that compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. And so I just want to ask you, Drew, and maybe your audience, I'm going to ask a little, just give you a quick question here. If you took a penny and doubled it every day for 30 days, what do you think you'd have?
Okay,
If you doubled it 30 times, it's compounding. What do you think you'd have?
30 days. So 1 penny on day one, 2 pennies on day two.
So you take a penny, double it. Day one, you have 2 pennies because you doubled it the first day.
Three,
one.
you have 4 pennies.
No, day 2, you have 4 pennies. Day 3,
okay,
you have 8.
But I don't know. Would you end with $500?
No, it's over $10 million.
That's fantastic.
Because day 29, you have $5 million. So if you think about it, the power of compound interest is on the back end. So over time, it really becomes very powerful, and that's why Albert Einstein said that.
It is.
And that segues a little bit into the fact that there's many different ways of savings and different kinds of accounts. I'll let Josh pick up on that a little bit.
Sure. Saving, is important. And if you're out there and like Drew alluded to, maybe frustrated that you don't have control of your finances, before we talk about saving, we would say, get out of debt is of the utmost importance. And like Ben said about compound interest, it can work for you. It can also work very much against you. So you have those high credit card interest rates, and you have a balance there. Every month, you're just throwing money away instead of saving that money. So we would encourage anybody if in that situation to really triage that, to really get out of debt as quickly and as efficiently as possible. And if you have questions about that, we'd certainly be interested in talking to you. In terms of savings, there's a lot of different kinds of accounts that you can use to build wealth over time. Obviously, your banking accounts aren't making very much interest for you right now, but there's retirement accounts. If you work for an employer and they offer a 401k, of course, participate in that, especially if there's a match. That's free money.
Yeah, and if you're not taking advantage of that, it's no way getting it back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Drew, let me give you a real quick scenario on that 401k. 401ks are tax deferred, means you don't pay taxes on it. So say you're putting $100 a month into that. Your employer's matching it. Guess what? You just made 100% on your money, by the way. Plus, that real money that you're not getting to go into your bank is only $85 if you're in a 15% tax bracket. So you're missing out on $85 a month, and you're winding up with $200 a month to grow in an account for retirement. Well, over 30 years with just 6% interest, that's over $200,000. And if it's 40 years for all you younger people out there, you're looking at around $400,000. And it could grow beyond that, or we know that the markets ebb and flow.
Start early.
Start early. We encourage you. Please contribute to your 401k, especially if you have an employer match.
Josh and Ben are here. Blue Skies Wealth Advisors. They're in Selinsgrove. Kind of behind Aubrey Alexander Toyota. Is that Commerce Avenue? Okay.
Yep. And we share a parking lot with Steininger's Dry Cleaning.
So that's where they are, if you know that spot. And talk a little bit about, when it comes to planning, your finances. You mentioned get out of debt. You want to do that fast. Having a written budget can help. But when it comes to actually planning for when that day comes.
Absolutely. Well, planning isn't just for retirement, although that's probably the biggest thing that people need to plan for. But planning is just taking inventory of your resources, putting a budget together, making sure that cash flow is being handled efficiently, and then identifying what your goals are. Maybe your goals for 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, 20 and beyond, and really making sure that the resources that you do have and the resources that you're saving are being positioned to help you accomplish those goals. And there are very good ways of doing that, and there are very poor ways of doing that. There's a lot of roadblocks along the way, and that's why we believe that working with financial advisors, one of the keys to accomplishing your financial goals, because there's so much information and misinformation out there that probably one of the bigger components of that relationship with our clients is just filtering out noise for them, helping them really focus on the things that matter and really pushing aside the things that don't.
Yeah, Social Security is not going to be enough, and a lot of people think that that's kind of their way out. I would treat that more as a supplement, and starting early, saving and creating a plan and a strategy, and realizing too, another thing we need to take in consideration is inflation and the fact that people are living a lot longer.
Yeah,
and so you may have to plan for retirement, not for 10 years, but maybe 20 or 30 years, or maybe even longer.
Gotcha. And when it comes to, people that are listening right now, and I mentioned it earlier, they may be frustrated. Can we give them a plan of action? Like, I know that it's going to sound like a big plug, but in the end, call guys like you. Call somebody, and start to plan, start the process. Look, we're not all financial experts.
Absolutely.
That's why you guys are here. So, when it comes to advertising, we want people to call 94KX. When it comes to financial planning, call somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's, I think, one of the things that we're really excited about with our firm. Our other partner who's not with us this morning, John Shippen, has over 45 years in the industry. But really, we are an investment planning and investment management firm, and we really believe it's in that order. And a lot of people would be happy to take your money and sell you a financial product, but really having the investment conversation before we take into account take into account your financial inventory, your assets, and how we can position those and have them work together. Most people have different types of accounts. So how do those relate to each other, and how's that going to be affected down the road? That planning piece needs to come first. Your goals need to be identified first, and then have the investment conversation and make sure that your money's working for you to accomplish those financial goals. So yeah, I would say it's really important to work with a financial group that does the planning and investing, and that's we'd be happy to talk to your listeners about that.
I hope they get a hold of you. Absolutely. One more thing before I let you go, Ben.
Well, Drew, just because you're such a wonderful person, we'd like to put that out there for your listeners, that if they would like a half an hour, we'd certainly sit down and do a free consultation with them. Just call our office. Our number is 570-884-7575. And you can look us up at blueskieswealth.com.
Can't hurt.
No.
Not at all.
Right? Yeah,
Right.
Got nothing to lose. Ben Wilhelm, Josh Knauss. It's Blue Skies Wealth Advisors, Commerce Avenue in Selinsgrove. All throughout the week, we're going to be celebrating National Money Smart Week, and we appreciate your time this morning to talk to 94KX listeners. Thanks, boys.
Thanks for having us.
All right.
Thanks, Mark.
Yep, 7:55 here on Drew and the Crew at 94KX.
You didn't know our names.
Hey, I didn't know your names when you got here. I deserve that.
I was going to say that earlier on purpose, and then I did it by accident.
We're here with Marty and Steve from Blue Skies. All right, back next.